Welcome to a very special episode of House Heist. Today, we show you how to make a success out of the real estate business. From the streets of Birmingham
and a farm in Louisiana, we show you how hard work and dedication
can build you an empire in the real estate business.
Welcome to House Heist.
Yeah, they got the right price. This ain't no game. It's a house heist. It's a house heist.
Around here we call it a house heist, meaning get the knowledge before you discuss price. So when investments knock, you be there to answer. Then you can be the boss just like Tony Danza. Talk to him. Gab and Herb gon' hit you with the word. So open up your mind and be prepared to learn the best tips for the flip. Yo, it's lit. I'm talking larger stakes on larger stakes. Come on.
It's a house heist.
You say you don't know much about Birmingham, so I want to show you a little bit about Birmingham. I always talk about where I grew up at.
You do. You talk about it a lot.
I want to give you the hood experience.
The hood where it's all good.
It's all good. You're a country girl.
Like my country roots.
I grew up in a small town, Gippsland, Louisiana, famous for Bunny and Clyde. We have the Ambush Museum. And so I grew up on a farm practically. My grandfather, he was an entrepreneur. He worked very hard each and every day to provide for me and my little cousins, and so that's really how I grew up. My grandmother, she got up at the crack of dawn and made homemade biscuits. And so my memories are of cows and pigs and chickens running around the yard. So that's how I grew up. I'm a country girl.
I started from humble beginnings, honestly. I started, I grew up in the inner city. And, growing up in the inner city, back then that's when gangs came in and drugs started to take over the inner city. And it's just, the neighborhood superstar was, of course, the neighborhood,
Neighborhood drug dealer.
Yes. Yeah, we used to stand right there and just sling rocks at the cars.
Do people still live there?
Yeah, they still do.
So what was it like growing up over here?
It was fun. It really truly was fun. But at night, I realized as the years went by, that's when people started to get a hold of guns. So at night, we would have to, my mom used to always come in the room and say, hit the floor, because you hear gunshots just browning out, pow, 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 pow. So I think she finally got tired of it at some point and just said, okay, it's time to move. I could say I had a good life, but I didn't realize I was poor until I got around other kids that had a lot. And I was like, I thought I was doing well, but at the same time, you really aren't. You really living below your means. So I'm thankful that I was able to make it through it without a scar or a scratch. That's the area I grew up in. This little girl I used to have a crush on. We used to call her Cat Eyes. She lived right there.
Oh, man.
She was light skinned with them fake eyes.
Oh, man.
24, 25. That's the apartment I grew up in. I stayed there for about 4 or 5 years. I just wanted more out of life. I don't know what clicked in my mind. I don't know what say, hey, Herb, you want more. It was just, it's like I was here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. So I want to continue my journey. And whatever my reason I'm here for, share it with the world.
I love that.
Yeah. Growing up, I had strong males around me. My father wasn't there, but I had my grandfather. I had a mentor growing up. I was in this program called Champs, Care Helps Another Make Progress. And I saw strong African-American males providing and showing us a different direction. And that kind of kept us on the straight and narrow. And also I had my mom. My mom would tear my tail up if I got in trouble. So she made me come in the house before the street lights came on. So, that kind of, guided me in a different direction. And
We didn't have street lights.
yeah, you a country girl. Yeah, y'all don't have street lights.
We didn't have
Y'all go in the house when the cows and chickens start.
We didn't have street names.
Really? So how y'all knew to go from one place to the next?
You just know. You're from there.
So y'all had no street names? There wasn't no 86th Street, no 21st Street? Really?
No. When I was maybe in high school, they finally gave my grandmother's road that she grew up on, they finally gave it a street name, School Street.
Seeing my grandfather work and provide, there were 7 of my mom, I have 4 aunts, including my mom is 5, and 2 uncles. And, providing back then for 7 children, and a wife, and being able to take care of that, on the farm, that definitely gave me the hustle that I felt that I need. One thing that my grandfather always instilled in the females in the family was to go to college. And to this day, all of my aunts, including my mom, they have the Henderson Scholarship Fund at Louisiana Tech University. And so they're very proud, our family is very proud of that scholarship fund, and it was really spearheaded by the drive of my grandfather.
Oh, nice.
Coming up next on House Heist.
I pulled 30 grand out of that very first home. That's how the journey began.
But you was like, dang, I can make this much money?
Right. When drugs, gangs, and guns came around, it really changed the whole dynamics of the project.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was a safe place to be. It was a family-oriented environment, and everybody looked out for everybody.
Yeah, everybody looked out.
Yeah.
You go down the street to the candy lady.
Like I used to get my butt whooped by people down the street because they knew my mom or they knew my dad. But after that, don't put your hand on my child now. That whole dynamics changed when gangs and guns and drugs came about.
I don't know anything about any of that.
Yeah, you know about
I was asking about the
cow
candy lady.
manure. And all
I
that
was
kind of
asking about
stuff.
the candy lady.
I understand. Cow manure is important. That's how you fertilize the environment. I get it.
The way I came to Alabama, my mom worked for Bell South, and so I moved to Birmingham, Alabama, kicking and screaming the summer of my 9th grade year. I graduated from Homewood High School. I went to, go Patriots, I went back to Louisiana and attended Louisiana State University. Go Tigers. You gonna say Roll Tide? I know he's not. He's not gonna say Roll Tide. So I attended Louisiana State University, and then I came back to Birmingham. My mom and my brother and sister were still here, and I got into the occupational therapy program at UAB. Hated it. I mean, absolutely hated it. My first stint was at the VA hospital, which, come to find out, that was one of the worst stints I could be on. What would they call them?
Rotations.
Rotations, yes, that I could have been on, but I hated it. And so I decided, forget this, I'm not doing OT. And I got my degree from UAB in psychology.
I can't see you growing up in the hood. What would you be? What would you do? You be popping your gum and throwing your hair?
I do that
No,
now.
you're bad.
So what are the chances of a country girl from Louisiana meeting a city boy from Birmingham, Alabama?
Likely to none.
But we do have a lot of similarities. Yeah.
You majored in occupational therapy. I majored in occupational therapy. You didn't pass the program. I didn't pass the program. We both got our degrees in psychology.
Yeah, I like that.
And we both love real estate. We pulling up on Hayes in middle school. Used to be a high school. Avondale Project over here. I used to spend all my days playing basketball in here. I used to always play against the best players. And we saw home ownership over here. Like, this is a nice little quaint area. Most of these houses over here, people actually own, believe it or not. And you can kind of tell. Oh, we got to find some house over here, sweetie. As I got older, I wanted to become rich. I'm still working on that part, but I wanted to become rich though. And I had to get into a profession that generated a lot of money. So me wanting to generate a lot of money led me to college. And I went to Tennessee. I graduated from Tennessee State University. And as I was in college, I wanted to find out something to do. I was in a program, occupational therapy program.
Me too.
Really?
You knew that.
I know, I'm just joking with you. But I was in an occupational therapy program, and I failed in that program. I read a book on real estate, and it was a book, it says to be rich in real estate or something to that magnitude. But I read that book. It was written by Carlton Sheets, and it pretty much sparked my interest in real estate. And so after graduating from Tennessee State University, I actually purchased my first home at the age of 21. I still own that home to this day as well. I bought the home within 30 days. At that time, you can go ahead and refinance the home because they had already said it increased in value. So I pulled 30 grand out of that very first home, and I rented that same home. The rental lease amount covered my mortgage, and I continue to lease that property to this day, and it actually is paid off now almost. But I took the cash and I invested in another property. And that's how the journey began.
But you was like, dang, I can make this much money.
Right. It was so funny. I was staying at home with my parents, or my grandmother anyway, and I had a job making 50 grand a year. So I had a job. It was a straight sales commission job, making 50 grand a year, plus that 30,000. I thought I was the richest man in Babylon.
You was balling in your 20s.
At 21, yeah. So, yeah.
My career, as I thought my career, in 2008, it kind of, tanked. And so I was kind of kicked out, laid off through 3 unemployments, laid off through the economy in 2008. And I decided to get my real estate license. It was not all glamorous. It was not all fun. I had to, struggle for a little bit. I didn't have my first closing until 2009, after being into the real estate business almost 6 to 7 months. Back then it wasn't all the training that you see at real estate companies and the mentorships and the partnerships. It was you get into the business and you are on your own. Everybody tried to kind of hold their secrets, and I really didn't have any one or any person to really turn to. And so when I got my first closing check, man, I was sitting there at my office manager's desk like, when are you gonna cut my check? I need it. And I don't think she realized at that time how desperately I needed that check. And so that was just one of the most exciting closings that I had. It was probably one of the worst times of my life. Again, I thought I had a career going and all of that great stuff. And so I just decided to get my real estate license. So, here I am.
Coming up on House Heist.
Probably took 2 years before we even started dating after I met her. So.
Yeah, we became friends first.
This one of the neighborhood people don't move out of most of the time. They kind of get comfortable and this is where they stay at.
That's not good.
That's not good, but it is what it is. Now, that's a nice house to be bought. You see that? That's an opportunity. Somebody already bought that?
That's
a definite opportunity right there. We met working, first and foremost, let me say. We met through work. She was my agent. I reached out to her to become my agent after several unsuccessful attempts to sell 4 properties that I had. So I reached out to her to sell my 4 properties. And
I sold them in how long?
And she sold my properties. And she sold them within about 30, 45 days, all 4 of them.
45, 30 days.
And
Less
all
than 30
4
days.
of them, she sold them. And from there, we kind of just started interacting with each other. But we never did do anything serious. Probably took 2 years before we even started dating after I met her. So.
Yeah, we became friends first. So that's very important in our relationship. We have a working relationship, and then most importantly, he's my best friend.
Yeah, she like to say I'm her best friend, but I don't like to do that girl stuff. I'm her friend and best friend.
So for fun, we watch softball. Our daughter Atira plays softball. She is our big why. Between her and our family, that's just the reason we get up every single day. And so it's been a joy for us to watch her grow over the past 24 months, just to see her and to encourage her and motivate her to get to that next level. And so we're just extremely proud of her on and off the field.
Yeah, we saw what hard work and determination can really accomplish when put toward the right effort. But also what we do for fun, we like to travel. We travel a lot. Not of lately because we've been working our tails off.
Yes. And
we want to get some things accomplished. I enjoy reading, and we enjoy working out together. And sleeping when we can.
That's barely sleeping.
Yeah, when we can. We don't sleep very much these days, so yeah. So this is my great-grandmother's old house right here, and the family still owns it. And so what we do is when someone wants to move out of the house, they kind of move into that house, and we keep doing that until they actually get their own house. So we just keep it in the family and keep it up and fix it up. The things I'm most proud of moving forward in my life is the opportunity for growth. I see a lot of opportunity in life. Also the opportunity to help others. My life has become a lot about helping others because somebody had to help me get to where I'm at. So now I'm given the opportunity to help others and push myself, my family, and friends further along in life. So I'm enjoying that aspect of life and just growing and becoming any person that I can imagine in my mind, just becoming that person. So the growth, the taking the ceiling off is what I'm most proud of.
Absolutely. And being that motivation for people. One thing that, you know, I'm most proud of is just being able to give back to others through mentorship, through coaching, and just those avenues. It's just fulfilling to me to watch others grow.
Absolutely.
And one of the ways we do that is by serving others. Everyone deserves a hot meal, especially during the holidays. And so the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas is my absolute favorite time of year. We've decided about 6 years ago to really take time and love on those that are less fortunate than us. Each and every day, people deserve a great meal, but especially during the holidays.
Each year our goal is to feed 100 families. This year, we fed 150 families.
This was a great opportunity for us to feed those in need. Coming up next,
On House Heist.
no matter where you are, when you think about it, when you're driving down the street, you're going to always see some sort of real estate transaction going on around you. Whether you're an investor or a regular individual, home ownership does matter. And so I always look at real estate as an investment. Again, whether you're an investor or just a regular home buyer, it's so much better to own your own property than to just throw money away each month. Number one, you can write that interest that you pay off on your taxes, so you get a little bit of a tax break. Number two, you can build equity. And so building equity is a way to financial gain.
Pretty much the biggest real estate you have to control in life is the space between your two ears. And that's what you're telling yourself, the story you're telling yourself, your mental attitude, your mental focus. They say where energy flows, focus goes. So keep your mind focused on what you have in your goals. All the outside stuff is always going to be there. However, that real estate right there, you have to control the input of it, the information that you're obtaining. Everything that you're putting into your brain goes into it and goes into your thought process. So if you change the things that are coming into your environment, first of all, and what's coming into your mind, your life can be so much more sunshine.
Even down to the people you surround yourself with.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's all environment, it's all what you're telling yourself. Always tell yourself, I am great, I will accomplish this goal. Nothing can stop me. And pretty much that's the attitude you got to have in life. And that's the attitude that got me from being in the inner city to where I am now. And that's continuing to push me to grow up the ladder.
You ever thought, like, when you think about someone and you're thinking about them, and guess what happens? The phone rings and they call, right? Absolutely. And so same thing with energy in your thought process and what you put out into the universe.
So I would suggest, when opportunity knocks, controls that space, that real estate between your ears. That's all you have to do, and your life will be that much better.
Because opportunity is knocking.
You all right? You want to lock your car door?
It's already locked.
He's so scary. I see treasure where others may see trash. That's why a lot of times we go into the inner city. Some may call it the hood, and we fix it up. And the reason we do that, it's kind of like triple fold to it. If you think about it, environment, I feel like affects a person's mindset. So I like to change the environment. I feel like if we come in, we take this apartment complex and we take this home and we fix it up, we give people hope, if you really think about it, because now they're not seeing this dilapidated, burned down property here. Now they're seeing, okay, we can have nice stuff too in our neighborhoods. So what that does for the children, that pushes the children further. Now they want to become educated because, hey, I see this nice neighborhood now. Let me do something so I can help my neighborhood as well. So that's why we go in and we fix these properties up and we make them look like you're living in a $500,000 neighborhood, but you still living where you live?
For me, it's really changing the dynamics of communities. Home ownership matters. I know I've said this before, it sounds cliche, but home ownership definitely does matter, especially for the first-time home buyer. I mean, it's just amazing the lives that I'm able to touch, or that we're able to touch each and every day. Every single home is different, and we're always learning.
Absolutely, and I enjoy learning. I'm a kind of a nerd, so they used to call me Herb the Nerd growing up. Bully, that's come from bullying me, but I never got bullied because I was a bigger kid, so I was fine. But we did learn a lot on Avondale as an investment for us.
That was our first historic home.
And I'm pretty sure that won't be our last historic home, that we have to take old wood and mix with new wood. And I'm pretty sure that home will be different than Avondale.
Homie's house was so much fun. Homie is hilarious, and he's also a personal friend of ours. He and his wife, Shamika, were just a joy to work with. And that V94.9 FM home team, they are hilarious.
Absolutely. That kitchen renovation was amazing. I utterly enjoyed it. I enjoyed them first and foremost. And the kitchen renovation was just a bonus, a cherry on top.
I love the Airbnb show. We were able to really show people how to bring income out of your home.
Yes, we did. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. We need to find ways to increase our income. And your home is one of those places. Short-term rentals, long-term rentals, you have added space in your mind, a stranger coming into your home. It's ways to do that.
One of the keys to earning wealth in real estate is to be able to make money while you sleep.
Absolutely, because if you're not making money while you sleep, you're constantly working for money.
And so the 4-unit condos, I didn't even know about it. I was literally surprised when he brought me to that property.
We go into these neighborhoods, we find the most undesirable properties, fix that property up or properties, and start to change the whole dynamics of the neighborhood and the mindset of people in the neighborhood.
I love Matthew Gregory. I love his work. I mean, he and his wife, they are just taking the real estate industry by storm. And it was such a pleasure to really just sit down and just, break bread with him and be able to speak with him.
Yeah, I've heard so much about him. And like I said, likewise, he's heard about me. So to finally meet the man eye to eye was a great experience.
Lighting is the jewelry of a home. And so one of my favorite things to do is to pick out lighting. I had a fabulous time, as always, with Stacy at Inline Lighting.
Big kudos to Joe at River Chase Flooring and Murad at SW Marble. I had a wonderful time picking out the flooring for the Centerpoint house, as well as picking out the marble countertops for the house too as well.
And you love that bling light fixture.
I like that bling light fixture.
So what's next for us is House Heist University. If you have ever thought about a career in real estate or real estate investment, House Heist University is for you.
If you want to earn a high income in real estate investment, House Heist University is where it's at.
Invest in yourself.
When opportunity knocks,
answer.
So when investments come, you'll be there to answer. Then you can be the boss just like Tony Danza. Talk to him. Gab and Herb gon' hit you with the word. So open up your mind and be prepared to learn the best tips for the flip. Yo, it's lit. I'm talking larger stakes on large estates. Come on.
They got the right price. This ain't no game. It's a house heist. It's a house heist.
Around here, we call it a house heist, meaning get the knowledge before you discuss price. So when investments knock, you be there to answer. Then you can be the boss just like Tony Danza. Talk to him. Gab and Herb gon' hit you with the word. So open up your mind and be prepared to learn the best tips for the flip. Yo, it's lit. I'm talking larger stakes on larger estates.
It's
Come
a
on.
house heist.